Champions League football is done and dealt with. We are through top of the group no matter what now. That's not today's focus anyway. There was no Champions League games today, 2 Premier League matches. And I kind of want to say it's getting interesting, but truth is, Man United are kind of running away with it. Yeah, they've still not lost, which is obviously not helpful, though they've just drawn with Norwich 2-2. We know how difficult they can be. Also got to be said, I no longer feel quite as bad about losing to Norwich, considering they now have 20 points at least, so not quite the 2 they had when we met them. That being said, we did nearly lose to Aston Villa and Huddersfield, who you can see both have 5 points. Did beat them though. Comebacks in both. But since we last met, which was of course Bayer Leverkusen, 1-0 victory there after the slight nonsense that was the Liverpool game. We followed up with a 1-0 victory at West Ham, fairly straightforward. Rick scored in the first half and then nothing. It's worth noting, of course, Azarta's not scored quite as much because he's being deployed more on the left-hand side, which is what he prefers anyway. And Rick has been slotting into that right-hand side. Just because I'm not 100% sure about Courage, Rick and Azarta has been the more common pairing this year so far, which has mean Rick has been the beneficiary of these set-piece goals that Azarta was last year. He has scored in these batch of games, though. Essentially, Rick's just been in that position that I normally instruct Azarta to be in. We did get our revenge, at least in the Carabao Cup over Norwich. 3-0 victory there, although it doesn't really matter because I don't really care about that competition. Our Premier League revenge, of course, is at the end of the season, as I pointed out last time out. 2-2 at Everton, it's a weird one. It's actually reflective of the game, I'm not going to lie. 2-2 is the right result there. Pretty even on paper. They scored. We scored twice just before half-time. Cantor and Rick again, and then Gori with an equaliser for them in the second half. A little disappointing considering we were leading that one, but we'll take a point at Goodison Park. It's always a useful one. Same as the point at Bayer Leverkusen. Didn't really weaken for this one, apart from the fact Schau was out of the right back. Christian I put in goal. Pulisic played over Cantor in that one. There's a little bit of a weakening there, but not a drastic level of it. But we'll take a point there, and that essentially solidified our progression out of the Champions League group stage. 4-2. 4-2 for Aston Villa. I tell a lie, we were actually never behind in this game. But Azarta scored, playing on the right-hand side in this particular match. Shaonan, Seri and Victor Vidal on our score sheet. They scored 2 goals. Were there were only 2 shots on target? You're damn right they were. I'd just like to point out that David Raya made a Premier League record 14 saves, and they still lost 4-2. If anyone says there's nothing wrong with the game engine, they're clearly wrong, because that's what's wrong with the match engine. Something's going wrong there. I don't know what it is. I don't know how you fix it, but there's something going wrong. 3-1, we were behind against Huddersfield. I did mention that one. They scored a penalty 2 minutes in. But second half, I gave them a bollocking at half-time, and they, second half, sorted that one right out. Silva, Carpentier and Vidarson in the 95th minute, admittedly, making it 3-1 and more reflective of the game. And then Fenerbahce, 4-0. We do love our European fodder teams, but as advertised today is Leicester and Arsenal, 2 home games in the Premier League. Leicester, middle-ish table in these days. They're never really contending at the top. They are underrated in particularly the initial database. I think they've even been relegated at some point during the 10 years or so. And then Arsenal, who sit in 5th, an important 4 points behind us. Because as I said, particularly with Man United sort of running away with things, they have played a game extra. So should we beat Leicester here, we would only be 4 points behind them. Like I said last time, I'm not realistically intending to defend our title. It'd be nice if we get in the position that we can defend it, but I'm happy with top 4. I'd really love top 3, of course, just to be in this picture with these two who seem to be at the top every year these days. But that's the main game, to sort of be consistently in this top challenging area. We can talk about domestic domination in a couple of years' time. Our only negative for this match is the fact that Shaonan is suspended. So all that means is that Baxter will be in goal for this. Saxton, Azarta and Rick on the back line with Simpara, Vidarson and Seri, who are my first choice midfielders these days, Carpentier, Vidal and Cantoro on the attacking midfielder line with Godoy up front, who is back. He's on that match fit but not necessarily match sharp thing, which doesn't really give me that much advice on how I should be playing him. So he's going to be playing. I think all that means is, from what I can gather from the sentence it actually provides, is he's not injured in any way, shape or form anymore, but he's just not match fit, and it's just alerting me to that for whatever reason. Because it's not as if the yellow circle in the side of that says 75% doesn't also tell me that. And there's a highlight from kickoff. This is always interesting. We've cut that one out, and somehow that's skitted by number 19 there into Cantoro's feet. He's played Godoy through, and welcome back, Gabriel Godoy. Okay then. I'm a little taken aback by that. I actually want to see how that got past number. Oh, he just wasn't really paying attention. Vidal got kind of lucky in the fact that it didn't somehow get intercepted by the Leicester player there. But great ball through to Godoy, and excellent finish as well from Gabriel Godoy. That's arguably what we've been a little bit missing during his injury layoff there. Silva's been okay, but not really prolific. He has 5 goals. I don't really remember any of them, if I'm honest. Carpentier, though. Cantoro. Back into Vidal here. Vidalson's on the end. Oh, that should have been 2. I had to look away. I had to look away there. That was such a bad miss. Now, don't get me wrong. Goalkeeper could have saved it, but it should have been on target. Interesting ball from Carpentier there. We've got away with it. Cantoro onto this right-hand side. Doesn't get past Vincent. Thought he did for a second. Simparo. He's got the ball back, though, and 2-0. Oh, hang on. It's being reviewed. It's offside, apparently. Cantoro was offside, was he? Let's see this one again, shall we? Yep, evidently. No, it wasn't. You can actually literally see, even at that distance from above, the trailing leg of the Leicester defender because they have bright pink shin pads. Not shin pads, socks. That's the word. He wasn't offside. Godoy, anyway, nearly makes it 2 anyway. Zahibo in their goal. I don't think I recognise that name. That must be a recent acquisition. So what I love about our corners is we maintain the short corner option that we played for so many years. No longer the instruction because we've got players like Rick and Azata in that box. But it does drag one of their defenders out, which always makes it a curious incident inside the box always, whenever we try to pump one in there. Anyway, McCormack on this left-hand side for them. If they get an equaliser here, despite not having a single shot yet, I'm going to be very mad. Surrey's hoofed it, and Godoy actually glances the header on, apparently. James Justin, who's still at Leicester, recycles this for them, and then now they've got Morgan Rogers coming for 3. Oh, yeah, they've scored with a... Oh, no, it's a second. It's a second. We can feel 50% less aggrieved by that. I mean, it's kind of dumb how this gets away. Weirdly, I've got to say, I don't know if that's just necessarily bad engine or just really good, actual, correct simulation there. Because my defenders were distracted by the actual striker, and it was Morgan Rogers who came from a deeper position and ran between everyone. And then literally just no one reacted to it because everyone was still defending the person they were trying to defend. And I'm just not sure if that was realistic or not. I'm kind of weird about that goal. It's either brilliant or infuriating. Simparo, McCormack. And I think really that sort of goals like that symbolise the disparity on people's mindsets when it comes to being FM'd as such. Because a lot of the time it could actually be just genuinely really good play. A lot of the time it's just your striker kicking it straight at the goalkeeper for 20 times in a match, which is clearly stupid. This highlight has gone on for a long time. It is just before half time, so I'm just wondering if that sort of bled into its importance a little bit. Oh, it is a shot on target. It was offside. Completely pointless. Now, realistically, it should be 2-1 because Cantoro was in absolutely no way, shape or form offside. Forward to Vidarson and Azata. We can definitely be infuriated by that one. Sarri's worked past number 19 quite well, so that Morgan Rogers had to track back and make it 2 v Sarri. Saxton, though, in, I was about to say better space, but he ran pretty much directly at number 2 there. Carpentier, Vidarson, back out to Saxton. Oh, it's gone over there, defender, and nope, not quite. Sarri, back to Vidarson. How many times is it going to go back out to Saxton this time before something actually happens? Here we are, he's coming in. Oh, he shot himself because why? I do find it weird that Ndidi is still there, considering how well regarded he is in real life. I don't know if he's just underrated in the game, particularly obviously on this initial database, which we're playing on right now, opposed to the updated January one. But I just find it weird that Ndidi's still there, particularly as Leicester aren't that good. I'm just really surprised that like a European contender hasn't really gone for him at some point. Sort of like your Everton's, for instance, at the very least. Do I have Shaun? Oh no, I can't even play Shaunan, can I? That's the problem. Why does this always happen? Why does this always happen when I don't have a spare right back? They always get injured. I mean, Courage is just going to have to come straight on and be makeshift. He's literally technically no worse, so fine. And Ramirez is going to come on for Carpentier, who's been largely ineffective as well. Kind of a little bit... Oh, for God's sake. That literally happened about 12 seconds after I made the first changes. That's genuinely unbelievable, the timing on that one. Go on, Sarri. Get it off the now probably 45-year-old Frank Kessie. Ramirez, there we are, 2-1, finally. This seems to be a recurring theme of late, sort of bafflingly not being on top despite being dominant, and then just eventually wearing the teams down to the point where we just get that goal. And I would not be surprised if there's another one that comes before the 90th minute here. Exactly what happened with Aston Villa, exactly what happened with Huddersfield. Admittedly, Aston Villa got another consolation goal later on, but what turned out to be a consolation goal was 3-2 when they scored it, and I was getting very worried. Ramirez, here he comes again on this left-hand side, already seemingly livelier. See more of him than we have Carpentier. Ah, never mind, Solanke's still. He's younger than I thought, I suspect then. That's audacious. The text at the bottom said it looked destined for the net. Not at that distance it wasn't. Now Castillo's turn. He's not as good with the long throws, but it's gone in. Ivan Sarri. That was Courage actually who's doing the throw from the wrong side of the pitch. Oh, I know why that's happening. It's because he is left-sided. He's a left-sided player, so he is actually in. He's actually in the throw taker list for that side. That's why that's happened. Castillo, though, coming forward. Still coming forward. Just giving it to Sengizunder, but with a fairly heavy touch at the end of that particular run. And it's been hoofed up to Solanke. Doesn't have really anyone in support, so yep, we've managed to gather that possession via Azata, who, must be said, not necessarily been as consistently brilliant as he was last year. Obviously, his goals were part of his rating last year, and he's been essentially robbed of those by being put into Courage's slot rather than where he was playing last time. No, don't. Filthy. Filthy minds. Vidalson, what's happened here? Oh, just a tackle. I thought it might be more just the way it was end of that particular highlight. But I think it came from a set piece or something. That's why we saw that. I don't know. Anyway, Castillo coming forward. Again, not quite Vidalson. They're doing a little bit better, I seem to notice, of smothering the, particularly Castillo and Saxton, well, where Saxton was. Alright, so he's hoofed that up quite quickly, actually, from gathering the possession, and I am worried by number 11 there. We are 2 goals to the good at this stage, but Slanky's number 11, good to know. Kessie, Slanky, turns, misses. There was a moment there where the through ball to Solanke was looking very dangerous. It just never materialised, thankfully. I'm going to stay attacking. I'm just not going to let them breathe. 3-1. 4 times the shots on target. We're actually unbeaten in 16 matches. I did not even realise that. Ironically, they do have a player called Everton. After saying Everton probably should have gone. I'm actually going to have a look at Ndidi. I mean, he's regarded as 3-star for my team in Teko's role. Big match player. He's 33, so 3 stars of 33 is pretty special. Yeah, they were relegated early on. Actually, the first year, they were bottom. Shows you how much they underestimate A, Brendan Rodgers, and B, Leicester. The fact they thought he was going to be 20th. Took them 2 years, but they have been solidly mid-table every year since. Yeah, I don't really understand why Ndidi's still there then. I kind of want to say he got away with it a little bit, but 3 goals in the end. Hard to justify. Oh, lovely. Sachs is out 3-6 weeks. Just as Kovalev's come back. They just seem to be rotating their injuries. Is he injury prone? No. Man United is sniffing around Ivan Seri apparently. That one does worry me. Doesn't have release clause anymore though, so that's good. Did when we first signed him, but no longer. Good point from Newcastle there. They've been doing alright of late. Oh yeah, I forgot I got to deal with this. World Footballer of the Year candidates. As England manager, I get a say in this, and one of my players is in this. But not the one you were expecting. I am genuinely surprised that's not Azata. I mean, 0 bias going into this one. Sorry, hang on. Guri got into this. Alright. I mean, that's a sentence no one was expecting to ever read. Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappe has told the French Football Express that his manager Neil Lennon was the key reason for his consistent form. Pretty certain an actual hamster will be able to manage Kylian Mbappe to Player of the Month. I mean, no disrespect to Neil Lennon, but seriously? So we've got a actually fairly reasonable group for the Euros qualifying. Turkey in there, they're not shabby. Bosnia, they're not shabby either. You know what? My love of Cyprus might actually get something out of this. I mean, they're probably worse than Ukraine and Northern Ireland, but you never know. Although I think it's only one guaranteed promotion, so good luck getting out of that with Italy there. Okay, Bosnia are a lot worse than I first thought, seemingly. All the draws happening, and we've been drawn against Vanarama, Grimsby. They've had a shocker at some point. The goalkeeper's called Jess. Brian Jess. I feel like it says a lot that the club's training ground is called Cheapside, though. Sounds about right. As a Lincoln lad, I do still almost feel sad for them. Now, Arsenal have won their game. I think they played on Sunday, a day later than we did, so we should theoretically be a little fresher for this. We've had an extra days between the matches than they have, but they have closed the gap to 4 points, but they are in 4th, opposed to Chelsea in 5th. But yeah, that bit down there is real tight between Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City. 2 points separate all 4 of them. And then we sit 4 points ahead of those guys. Tottenham 3 points ahead of us and Man United 1 point. So we're 4 points ahead of 4th, 5 points ahead of 5th crucially, and 4 points behind title leaders Manchester United. 4 teams on 20 points as well. So 3 changes for this one. The now unsuspended Shaonan comes back in at right back. The uninjured Castillo comes in at left back for the now injured Bradley Saxton. And Ramirez comes in on form on that left-hand side. Carpentier not been as good as I was hoping of late. Had a fantastic start, but last 5 games not anything to be singing from the rooftops about. We are at home. We have had an extra day between our games. We are on paper, according to the season preview, a better side of them. They're playing Reece James on the left. It's interesting. A reasonable left foot. 3rd best England right back. They've got some good players and they're coming in sort of the twilights of their careers now. Sancho's still there. I mean, these guys are still pretty young. They're just in their primes these days. Sancho, Foden, Guendouzi. I mean, Dani Almo as well, 32. On the latter side of their primes, but primes nonetheless. And I'm currently in a position where I can go out and tell them in the team talk to continue this run and I expect nothing less than a win against Arsenal. And they actually react positively to it. That's where we are as a team these days. I love it. Medeo has gonna get dispossessor. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Baxter, back to Azata. Takes his time, just gives it back to. I mean, this has taken a little bit of time to get out of our defence. Rick, I mean, as long as we retain the possession, don't make any silly mistakes, I'm all right with that. Ramirez flicks it onto Vidal somehow. Ramirez back on it though. Seri. Ramirez, Vidal, Cantoro out on this side. I mean, considering the number of passes that have been in this, never mind. Actually, tell you what, that kind of sums everything up. I was about to say, considering the number of passes in the build-up to this chance, was almost Arsenal-esque in its own regard against them. And then the finish was atrocious, so still probably slightly Arsenal-esque, I guess. Then again, Aubameyang, one of the best strikers. Oh, that was the highlight. I was just waiting for something else to happen there. Meanwhile, Southampton 2-0 up at Liverpool. Southampton not in the greatest of starts. 13th, 18 points, not too bad. I was told about them underperforming in a press conference recently, so I thought it was actually worse than that. Vidarson's going to pick this. Oh, God, he smacked that one. We had 2 shots on target, 6 off. Assertively, far from pleased. Off we go again. Chelsea winning their match. They've closed the gap on us to 3 points. Man United clearly winning. Oh, Man United playing Tottenham. I didn't even realise that one. Oh, that was played. I just realised how dangerously played that was around Godoy there. Could have easily got onto that one, but didn't. Castillo there will gather that hoof up the pitch, and Azata will hopefully start this move for us instead. Vidal, Ramirez, back to Vidarson. Lovely sort of triangle play there for a moment. Castillo coming forward, still Castillo taking them on, gone to the back post, Cantoro. Wide. So Manchester United winning at Tottenham. That's a huge match, which I should have really noticed before now. Oh, actually, looks like things have been squared up at Tottenham because Man United down to 37 points again. Yes, they have indeed. Moulemant getting an equaliser. And Cantoro, can he make it 1-0 here? Yes, he can. Liverpool equalise at Southampton as well. Everyone is equalising up. We're winning, though. So crucially, 3 points here with the draw over there puts us right back in the mix again. We've yet to play either of them, though. That's over the Christmas period. Probably next episode. I'm not sure if they're next to each other or if there's the Chelsea games between them. But makes the points at the top 37, 36, 35. Man United scored again, never mind. Oh, Tottenham scored actually. Sorry, it's Tottenham that have gone top. I'm pretty certain Tottenham have come back from 2-0 down. Vidal, Vidarson. I mean, Godoy looked about 90 yards offside there. I mean, Laidlaw is on loan from Tottenham, so he should know the importance of destroying Arsenal. So the only change we're going to make, I'm kind of happy with the 6.6s. Like, they're not great, but they're not worrying either. Hello, there's a highlight. I mean, I was bemoaning our lack of shots on target, but Arsenal have had 1, which I can't imagine their fans are going to be pleased with. But Godoy coming forward once more. Just think about Godoy, though, is his stats are so good. His ability is so good. Like, even on the 6.6, it's not the best, but it's not really justification to take him. What the hell? Off. Now just to waste a bit of time, because we don't have Grimes either, this Teco for Vidarson swap is a bit awkward. I now realise I could have flipped the triangle and put him as a DM instead of Vidal as an AM. We've got Laidlaw on the pitch now. Fernando Henrique. I'm slightly worried there is a highlight actually. I thought we were going to go here with that change without much incident. Baxter being closed down by almost 3 Arsenal players there, it seemed like for a moment, but Teco will get this ball playing as that deep line playmaker temporarily. He's always a deep line playmaker, bear in mind. That is his main aficionado. And he said aficionale. I'm not sure what that was even a word-wise. But yeah, deep line playmaker is his preferred style of position. I guess the term would be, I don't know. Role, that's it. Player role, that's the term. Took me ages. But yeah, he's a DM, DLP, rather than central midfielder, DLP. That's hoofed clear. Looks like Tottenham's still winning. Looks like something's actually happened Chelsea-wise because they're not on 30 points anymore. They've been pulled back into a draw. I think Man City may be winning now. But crucially, that leaves us 7 points clear of Chelsea in 5th. Also come close again in the dying seconds of the game. But really, 1-0 does not reflect the game at all. 7 shots on target to 2, not drastic, but still. I am actually going to tell him it's a let-off this time. Sheffield United in between with the entirely irrelevant Shakhtar game. So let's actually see what happened over here. Everton ended up losing to Man City. Cardiff equalised against Chelsea. And Tottenham ended up winning 5-2 somehow. 2 goals in injury time. 93rd minute goal from Rosie and a 97th minute from Jean-Marc Ponce. I've just remembered I have put the faces on. Is he actually playing there? 4 appearances? Not really. That reminds me, there's a curious situation going on at Man United. Billy Clark isn't playing in the first team. He's had 2 starts all year so far. 7 sub-appearances, so he's not really playing for them. Yeah, he's had 1 start in the Premier League and 1 start in the Champions League, and that's it. And as someone I'm playing as an inside forward on that right-hand side for England, maybe worth trying to get him in to do the same for us. So that way he's better at it for both clubs and nation. For someone who enjoys big games, and with a Pulisic, probably on his way out within the next year or so, it's certainly an option I'm looking at. 120 grand a week. It's not an unreasonable wage demand, most likely. He's probably going to pop in around 150, hopefully. And we could probably accommodate that next year. Keeping an eye on this one, of course, English, so it won't need to be registered either. Which is crucial for someone replacing Pulisic, of course. But next time out, we will be... Oh, the Tottenham Carabao Cup quarterfinals gotten in the way. That's really unhelpful. Actually, is that unhelpful? We play Chelsea and Tottenham next time out. Man United. Oh, that's... No. We'll just do Chelsea and Tottenham next time out. As tempting as it is to do the Man United and Tottenham ones on the episode, I don't really care about the Carabao Cup at all. And again, I don't really want to overload you with Tottenham games either, because that kind of happened last year a little bit. So just Chelsea and Tottenham next time out. Of course, Tottenham just gone top of the table. So 2 away games in London. I'll see you for that. Until then, ta-ra.